From the St. Louis Public Radio Newsroom, this is The Gateway. It's Wednesday, August 26th. I'm Wayne Pratt. A bird along the Current River in southeast Missouri is attracting plenty of attention because it's believed to be the first time a brown booby has made an appearance in the state.
I was told if you went to the Florida Keys, you have a slight chance of seeing one. So that's how far out of place it is.
Coming up, the story of a rare bird sighting in Missouri. Members of the Missouri House have passed 5 of the 6 bills debated during the special session on violent crime. St. Louis Public Radio's Jacqueline Driscoll reports.
There's a measure to eliminate residency requirements for St. Louis police officers, one that modifies the offense of endangering the welfare of a child, and another that caused contention was a witness protection fund. This is because it creates a fund without any funding. Lawmakers also tacked on an emergency clause. Here's Representative Peter Meredith, a Democrat from St. Louis.
It's an emergency for us to establish a program that still won't exist after we pass this bill because we haven't funded it yet. If we really believed this was an emergency, wouldn't we be funding it right now?
Republicans argued allocating funds may be outside the call of the special session. A bill to try minors as adults died, and there was no discussion on allowing the Attorney General to try murder cases in St. Louis. In Jefferson City, I'm Jacqueline Driscoll, St. Louis Public Radio.
More coronavirus-related restrictions take effect today in Illinois. Customers at bars and restaurants are now required to wear a mask while placing orders or picking up carry-out items. Governor J.B. Pritzker says masks help reduce the amount of virus that lingers in the air at restaurants.
It is for a period of time. It will end. There are vaccines and treatments that are in development. I think we all have some optimism that by next year we will have those available to us.
Customers did not have to wear a mask while sitting at their tables before today. Additional steps are being taken in 2 Chicago area counties. Indoor seating is banned at bars and restaurants in Will and Kankakee counties. Governor Pritzker is not ruling out tougher limits for the Metro East if the number of COVID-19 cases continues to rise. St. Louis postal workers are calling on Missouri's U.S. senators to vote yes on a relief package for the agency. St. Louis Public Radio's Kayla Drake reports supporters say the bill would pay for overtime as workers collect mail-in ballots before the November election.
Union leaders and politicians want Republicans Roy Blunt and Josh Hawley to vote to approve the Delivering for America Act. The House of Representatives, controlled by Democrats, passed the bill over the weekend. It would provide $25 billion to the agency and restore overtime pay to previous levels. Rebecca Livingston is the president of the American Postal Workers Union in St. Louis. She said at a rally in front of the main post office downtown that union members are determined to deliver ballots on time.
We pride ourselves on that we're 91% approval ratings in the country of the highest ranked agency. Of the trust we have, we plan on keeping it.
The bill now heads to the Republican-controlled Senate. I'm Kayla Drake, St. Louis Public Radio.
The Archdiocese of St. Louis has a new leader. Mitchell Rosansky is the 10th Archbishop of St. Louis. He was installed yesterday in a ceremony at the Cathedral Basilica. He hopes to spend time visiting local parishes and schools to learn about the needs of the St. Louis Catholic community.
I wouldn't want to have any preconceived notions, but I'm open. I want to learn and then help to form a vision as we move the church into the future.
Rosansky has served as bishop of the Diocese of Springfield, Massachusetts since 2014. He replaces Archbishop Robert Carlson, who led the Archdiocese of St. Louis for more than a decade. Carlson submitted his resignation last year when he turned 75. That's the church's mandatory retirement age. As another hurricane bears down on Texas this week, a storm earlier this year made a lasting impact on southeast Missouri. The system is believed to have brought a bird that has decided to hang out along the Current River. Michelle Skaliski reports on a bird that finds itself far from home.
Birders have identified the brown and white bird as a brown booby, and their habitat is nowhere near here. Steve Pays is a forester for the Missouri Department of Conservation. He says he's not a bird expert, though he enjoys birding, but this is what experts have told him.
Its native range where you normally would find it are tropical islands in the Indian, Pacific, and Atlantic Oceans. It has never been seen in Missouri before. This one is the first one, and that's what has a lot of the birders excited. I was told if you went to the Florida Keys, you have a slight chance of seeing one. So that's how far out of place it is.
Birders are coming from all over to try to catch a glimpse of the brown booby that's hanging out along the current river. Pay says it all started when someone posted a picture on Facebook.
Basically saying, look at this weird bird I've seen. Anyone know what it is? And someone replied, a brown booby.
Pay says the Missouri Birding Society sent a group down to look for it, but they didn't see it. He started talking to folks on the river, asking if they'd spotted the bird. Finally, his daughter talked to someone who had.
That then gave me a starting point as to where to look instead of, what do I do? Do I go 20 miles upstream, 5 miles down, whatever? So we had a starting point.
He headed out on the river with a friend and expert birder, his daughter, and son-in-law.
And we were lucky enough to find it, and that sort of pinpointed where it was at. We put that word out, and that has been bringing birders in from around the state to come look at it.
Pay said there were already 4 boatloads of people ready to head out on the river to try to see the brown booby. Pays is serving as the go-between for birders and those with boats willing to take them out. The area the bird has been spotted is about a mile downstream from MDC's TL Ride access.
There is a dead tree on the east bank of the river, leans out over the river. He's been sitting on a dead limb on that every time I've seen him. Other folks that have seen him have been maybe another half mile down.
Even native wildlife are curious about the unusual visitor.
Yesterday, a bald eagle flew over him, and the eagle checked him out pretty seriously. And as we watched, we thought, oh, my goodness, is this going to end right now? Eagles are predators for ducks and geese, and this thing is smaller than a goose. And it probably has no fright of an eagle. It probably doesn't know what it is.
Fortunately, Pay says the eagle checked out the brown booby but then flew on. The bird has been eating fish and appears to be healthy. MDC state ornithologist Sarah Kendrick believes it's a second-year bird based on plumage in photos and videos she's seen. Birders believe it will eventually leave. But while it's here, the brown booby will continue to create a lot of excitement among those in the birding community. I'm Michelle Skaliski.
Michelle is a reporter at public radio station KSMU in Springfield, Missouri. Shula Newman is the executive editor of St. Louis Public Radio, music by Ryan McNeely of Adult Fur. I'm Wayne Pratt. From the St. Louis Public Radio Newsroom, this has been The Gateway.
Support comes from the Missouri Forest Products Association. Missouri produces wood pallets, railroad ties, white oak barrels, hardwood floors, and more. Details on the variety of products made in the state are at choosewood.com.